So I think we could start more or less. So welcome everyone to our meetup, and today we have special guests from Germany, Adrian and Ekrem, and they are representing the organization GDEXA. So they will tell a little bit more about it, and for us, they are like brothers from another mother. Like they are also doing community stuff. We're both passionate about contributing to community, only doing it in different ways. I'm creating meetups like crazy. They are doing coaching and stuff, and now we're trying to do interesting things together. So I'm giving stage to you guys. Ekrem and Adrian, please welcome to our meetup.
Great, thank you very much. I mean, really happy and blessed to be here. Thanks, Team Emerging, Aldis, and team for giving us the opportunity, and really nice for us. It's our very first time that we have such an audience. I mean, we've been part of a lot of meetups actually in Europe. The last one was a blockchain meetup with over, I think, 40 nerds, I would say. It was a very technical session. And I think it's a similar audience here, very, I hope casual, I hope very relaxed, very chilling. And hence, we don't want to make it too formal, I would say. And prepared some interesting insights for all of you. Maybe let's start. My name is Ekrem. I'm one of the founders of GDEXA. GDEXA stands for Global Digital Excellence Association. And as the name says, we are completely committed in upskilling the young generation and the humans, basically, for digital skills, which we're going to tell you more in a minute. And together with me, I have Adrian. Adrian, maybe you would like to say something for you?
Yes, hello everybody. So it's a pleasure to be here, and thanks again for the invitation. Yes, I'm Adrian. I am also, like, together with Ekrem and Elaine, one of the founders of GDEXA, and yeah, I'm very excited. And Ekrem prepared some really nice slides about our organization and about very interesting insights, which might be interesting for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And before I jump into the presentation itself, so we love it very interactive, very casual, as mentioned. So if you have questions, please raise or use the chat or whatever. So the plan for today is really to not give you a company or corporate presentation, who is GDEXA and what we are doing. We would like to put this into context of the topic of upskilling of the digital future and skills for the future, basically. And also would like to highlight some trends. Aldis mentioned already ML chatbots. I have also a sneak preview into the chatbot topics as well. First of all, just to give you a brief who and what is GDEXA and why we are here today. So as mentioned, we are a team of volunteers. So I'm leading data and AI at Microsoft on my main job, and Adrian is the senior director for design at a telecommunication company, and all the team members and the pictures you are seeing here on the slide having a full-time job, but we are, I mean, kind of passionate about digital upskilling and committed to really help the young generation, help universities and corporates to embark on this journey. And I highly recommend to go to our website to find more information and also give us some feedback, whether it's easy to understand or not. But I'm typically using for our corporate presentation our website because we put a lot of effort in there to make it really simple and easy to understand. And basically what GDEXA is all about is we are providing a free global mentorship for people and mainly for young professionals or for fresh graduates or even students. What does it mean? We truly believe into the concept of mentorship, the concept of human touch, a one-to-one personal coach. And we believe that we all have personal coaches in life, but in business, it's rather difficult. And we are also seeing that a lot of the young talents are so much focused on the academic career, on hard skills of learning something, that they are completely missing out to create a network of people, of thought leaders, of experts, where they can go and ask. Hence, we created this global mentorship program, which has very famous experts who are mainly C-level or C-level -1, so senior executives. But we are not looking at the title only. We are really looking for the diverse background. We have people from Europe, we're from IT, from finance, from big data, from corporates like Lanxess or Turkish Airlines or SAP. We have entrepreneurs. We have Alexandra, one of the founder of Cloudera, for example. So, so quite diverse group of senior executives who are really willing to give back from their experience and from their knowledge, and who are willing to really coach you, young talents, on their way to the digital future. So, and we have not only from Europe, we try to make it really global. That's why we are emphasizing on the G and global in our name. We have also experts from Asia, as you can see here. So even if you, as a European student or talent, would like to have a new perspective from Asia, so for instance, AI and ML, you all know in China, I mean, they are almost 5-6 years ahead of Europe and US. So maybe it's interesting to see, hey, how is BI and ML evolving in China or Singapore, or even in the US, right? So that's why you have the unique chance to sign up on our portal and get free mentorship by these experts. The second pillar of GDEXA and also our cooperation with Emergent is the topic around digital labs. And here as well, we are, giving a new learning experience. We are tackling, obviously, the trend topics like AI, ML, and a lot more, but we are putting this into a real case scenarios. So we are looking into the industries and the different industries and really get use cases and scenarios which are really valid and active today. And we are putting this, and we are making this with a lot of partners, obviously. This is just a glimpse of our partner network. And we put this learning experience into a hackathon. And of course, hackathons are kind of a trendy and buzzy word, but we are emphasizing more on the soft skills. So it's not like a coding challenge or like a classroom training type of thing. We are more doing an ideation, a design thinking workshops where we are really elaborating a lot of different options and projects, and then make a project plan out of this, going into the execution and making some kind of elevator pitches in front of our mentors and senior executives. So it's more like a startup style where you are within 4 or 5 weeks, and a global diverse team can really work on real case scenarios. And of course, increase your practical knowledge on one hand, but also have a great insights into the real world, what's happening out there, right? Because this is, I think, a very important point in order to define your personal and professional career. Great. I'm pausing here for a second to also give you a chance to raise questions if you have. Since I'm sharing my screen, I have no overview about chats or whatever. Please, Aldis, Adrian, shoot out if I should stop or questions coming up.
Yeah, I'm monitoring chat. So any questions, please put them in chat or unmute yourself and speak. We already warned Adrian and Ekrem that in Latvia it's not very usual that people are asking a lot of questions.
Let's make a little challenge out of this. I believe and I hope and I try my best that in my next pause, the question will be there. Okay, but no issues, no pressure. Let's jump into the topic of digital skills or skills for the future, and why is this so recent? And probably you may know that we are living in a digital disruption, and with COVID, this even gets faster and more obvious. And there are a lot of statistics, and I try to capture just a few of them, which really shows what's going to happen there, because digitalization and automation and IT is completely disrupting not only the industry, but also the society and the future workforce. Because according to World Economic Forum, 75 million jobs will be completely displaced until in 2 years' time. What does it mean? So the profession, the medical practitioner today is not the same in 2 years. These doctors and medical staff, they need to know how telemedicine works, how AI-based diagnosis work, how to, manage robots for surgeries and so on. The job and profession of a teacher will be changed in 2 years' time. Think about remote learning and so on. So in total, 75 million jobs. This is amazing. In addition, 133 million new jobs will arise, right? Like the YouTuber, the Instagram content creator type of things, or data scientist, which was not existing 10 years back. So we're going to have a lot more jobs arising because of the digitalization. And even for the whoever have smaller, younger siblings, sisters, brothers, or whatever, it's really estimated that 2/3 of the children who started in 2016 school, they will do a job which is not existing yet. So this is not only crazy, I would say, but some kind of scary for those who are not willing to change, right? So I think we all need to change. We will all need to somehow impact. If we are not again, I'm taking this example of the medical practitioner. If we are not a doctor by ourselves, we're going to visit the doctor, right? And we will feel and see the difference through digitalization. So everyone needs to adapt. Everyone needs to kind of adjust to this new normal, basically. And basically, the workforce of the future will tremendously change. So what does it mean? This meetup here and this audience, we are all, I would say, IT guys, right? We are all into AI, ML, and so on. So I think we are in a very good space at the moment because the digital skill gap is tremendous, right? We took also some statistics here that last year in Germany alone, 120,000 jobs were not placed at all because of the open vacancies, IT vacancies, they couldn't be filled by the companies. And in the UK, this is, a mistake in the graphic here, it's supposed to be 2022, there will be 500,000 jobs, open jobs for data science, big data analytics, and ML developer. So it's huge. And if you can see on the bottom line, the student supply and the employer demand, it's completely diverse, right? It's going into completely different directions. So which means the digital disruption will really create a huge demand of digitally skilled people, of digitally skilled workforce and talents. And I think this is now the disruption we need to take. So those who have no digital skills at all, they need to get ones. And those who have it, and I think this is the audience here, we might have all digital skills here in this audience. We need to change our mindset a little bit into more social skills, which I'm going to tell you in a second. So this is the environment in which we are, right? So we have a talent shortage in the global economy, new jobs will arise, and we have the digital skill gap in almost every industry and every profession, right? So, and on the other hand, this is a demand, but on the other hand, we have the technology, right? So machine learning and chatbots. So this is an irony itself, right? So we have a demand on one hand, but on the other hand, we are reducing human work through automation and through AI and ML. And chatbots, it's a great example for this. We have statistics, and this is the one from Gartner and from Microsoft, that there can be 70% in reduction in these kind of chatbots related, service inquiry related, virtual agents related, repetitive tasks. So of course we believe in the technology, and I think you all believe that this will create, I would say, a high value, and I think it will gonna open up new possibilities for the people, because doing a repetitive task and answering calls and answering almost the same question is not a very nice job to do, right? So we free up a lot of time and capacities to learn new things, different things. And I think this is a great trend where we are going in. And also to give you a glimpse into what's next here, because chatbots are kind of normal in the meanwhile. The next evolution, and I think we are all here at the moment, right? So this was the the disruption. We are coming from papers and coupons and all these kind of things, loyalty cards, mobile apps, kind of, I mean, earning points and so on. Now we are here, virtual agents. And I think the next evolution will be more like that we are putting gamification content in there, that we are putting a lot of personalization in there, because I mean, the chatbot can capture information from us and can really tailor their answers and their requests on our person. But the next evolution will be avatars, for instance, right? That we, I mean, are talking to an artificial person. And maybe you heard about Chow Voice, the avatar of Microsoft in China. She has around 600 million followers in the meanwhile, and our Microsoft Beijing office is receiving fan mails, I mean, to her, right? It's really crazy, but this is also something, is a great example how this could lead, right? So we are putting this chatbot and ML thing into the business context, saying, hey, this is the start of customer experience, basically. And we're going to do this with an avatar, with a robot who or she has this personality. And I think then we try to bring humans and robots somehow together. And at the end, you will see we're going to have super apps like the WeChat in the world, who are really having every kind of task, not only chatbots in there. So just a kind of a side note to the topic of chatbots. So how we put this into action. Of course, every company, as mentioned, are looking for those, first of all, skilled, talented people, and also for those solutions to be implemented. But what's the, I mean, challenging factor? It's clearly, I mean, look at the very recent study by Gartner, it's the skills of staff. So, and this is exactly the topic for today. So what kind of skills are required? So every company, like we at Microsoft or the Google or Amazon or even Emergent, if we're going to hire people, if we're going to tackle new projects, so what are the skills we are looking for? And of course, being an AI ML developer or data scientist, I think it's a cool thing to be, right? So look at it. I mean, it's the sexiest job of the 21st century, and also it's gonna be and to remain one of the high demand jobs, right? Because we are at the beginning of this journey, right? Every industry will be disrupted by big data, AI, and ML. So, but again, here, being the sexiest and the most demanded job on one hand side, still this skill gap and the lack of skill, it's still a very, very high issue and challenge companies need to tackle, and also the young generation needs to take care of. So let me pause here and see, let me give you a chance to digest a little bit, and probably, do we have AI and ML developers in the call?
Yeah, I see some, at least, even if they not telling that.
Okay. But okay, I mean, you can confirm that there are some. So yeah, congrats that you belong to this kind of exclusive group of people who are owning the hottest job in the 21st century.
We have in chat, yes, yes.
Yeah.
In chat we have yes, yes.
Yeah.
Two people confirmed. 2 people confirmed.
I mean, this was my trick to get at least a chat response, because I promised to have this chat until my next. I mean, it was a very obvious and easy question, but never mind. I mean, let's come to the point. I mean, because I don't have a presentation for an hour, so I would like to, I mean, somehow finish at half an hour somewhere to open up for Q&A and a lot of other things. I would like to simulate a little bit now an interview process. So, and the question why I ask, are there any ML developers here? I'm just assuming that many of you gonna have interviews in their life, or gonna have the next career step, or just asking them, hey, I'm an ML developer, and here, I mean, GDEXA and Emergent, they make a meetup saying, hey, these are the top skills to have to be an ML developer, or to even be a better one. So you might ask yourself, hey, I did it already, so what else should I know? But as mentioned, the world is changing, and it's not going to be an easy going for us in this ML AI community to get the jobs, because the new generation is coming fast, and the new generation, they're going to have the soft skills required. And let me just give you some simulative questions. So imagine you are in an interview process, and the question is, can you explain how we can automate our supply chain with the use of AI and ML? Right? So, or can you please explain how we can improve our finance forecasting model with AI and ML? So I'm thinking here about modern finance and ML forecasting, finance forecasting, and so on. So do you have an answer for this? And can you explain this? This would be really the question. And please use the chat window if you have an answer for that. Another question could be, do you know about successful use cases in the automotive industry? Yeah, imagine you are applying at Daimler or BMW or Ferrari, right? So, and you would like to have a AI, ML, or software engineer job, and the interview asks you about a successful use case in their respective industry, or even retail industry or whatever. Do you have an answer for this? And let's continue with this. We have an R&D center in Asia. Do you have experience in working in such remote teams? What will be your answer to this, right? Our finance department has no IT knowledge. How can we convince them using technology? This might be also a question in an interview process. Or this is our very first touch point with AI, and we expect from you to build a team and the platform. Can you do this? I hope you all got the point where we want to go to. And I think the answer of this won't be, I can do Python, I'm great in R, I did a great project in Java. It won't help, right? And this is not the point. The point is, the world is going into Python and R and all these new upcoming programming languages. And there will be always a better person in the world who can code and develop better than you. And there will be always a GitHub or Stack Overflow template who already have done this, what you are thinking of. So the point here is, of course, you need to have the hard skills. Of course, you need to master and know these kind of programming languages or technical skills. But this is not the expectation. The expectation is that you can articulate and that you have the knowledge and the insights how AI can apply in supply chain, in finance processes, in industries like retail, automotive, healthcare, and so on and so forth. This is the most demanding area. And believe me, I'm since 15 years in IT, and 15 years back when I started, and I'm a computer science by profession, so a rather technical role, but I did my MBA at a second degree. So exactly this would be my suggestion to you. Learn business, learn industry, because with AutoML, with out-of-the-box functionalities, AI and ML, sorry to say, will be commodity one day. So it's, of course, developers are required and going to be required, but there will be a certain level of basics which are out of the box. And companies will use this, and they rather prefer someone who can tell them how to use and where to use, rather than developing from scratch. So here is our advice to you. The skills for the future relies in industry and business, right? So define your industry, choose one. I mean, deep dive into that, learn about the trends and developments, about the challenges, because telco, healthcare, automotive, manufacturing, I mean, education, they have all different issues, different challenges. They are all differently maturity level. So they have their own flavor. Decide for one, try fast, fail fast. If it's the wrong industry for you, you start maybe with finance, you'll say, oh no, fintech, blockchain, no, I don't like. Go to retail, chatbots, e-commerce, I mean, customer experience, consumer data. Maybe this is the one for you, but you should have industry knowledge. And you need to understand the use case behind. So companies need stories, need success stories. So as mentioned earlier, we are in a digital disruption, and company A would like to know what company B did and why they were successful in applying AI and ML. You need to tell these stories to the people. And rather than being a developer, you need to be a, I mean, creator. You need to be an ideation people, a design thinker, telling the companies, your future employee or your future teammates, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, your future strategy meetings, what's really the business use cases and the success stories of today, and where you can apply this easily to your certain challenge. And last but not least, I think this is the most recent one, diverse and remote teamwork. So diverse because imagine yourself in a company, you will always have a team of technical, tech-heavy people, but also business people, marketing, sales, management. So, and you need, if you are a developer, you need to bring yourself back to that level. On the other hand, of course, the business people need to bring themselves up to that level. So it's going to be blended into each other. So you as a developer, you might know, as mentioned, industry and business insights. On the other hand, the business people, they should learn a little bit tech. And by the way, be well assured, the way we are teaching the business people is we are telling them you need to learn tech. So as we tell tech people to learn business and industry, we tell the business people to learn tech. So the overall message is it needs to be one. So it's not the one or the other. You need both skills for the future skills.
We have a question in chat.
Great.
Maybe a little bit, okay. Yeah, maybe first comment about previous slide. Point from Alexander, that point 4 assumes that you know how financial debt should work far better than the department workers. I doubt if it is always true.
Yeah, I mean, the point here is most of the business people, they're kind of scared and have perceptions, a pre-biased mindset against IT. IT is complex, IT is expensive, I don't know about IT, IT is coding, and all the IT people are nerds, I don't like them. So that's why I don't use it. So I'm sticking on my Excel sheet, I'm sending around via emails and collecting data and numbers, putting it into one monster Excel sheet, and I have my report, just an example. So these are very traditional people who have a huge power because the finance departments are owning the data. They're doing the monthly report, the annual reports, and they know how healthy the company is. So they have a huge power. But at the end, I mean, if they say, no, we are not going into IT and tech, it's really hard to convince them. So here the challenge is that I, as an IT person, I need to find the right words and the right stories to tell a finance guy in the finance department about the value of IT. So I need to convince them, please use IT because this will make your life easier. This will automate certain things. This will free up time. This will make our forecast more accurate. We can plan in more agile style. We can simulate. We can do what-if scenarios. I can give you ML simulation where you can simulate a merger and acquisition. You can simulate an IPO. You can simulate how the COVID-19 affect our workforce. What if we lay off 5,000 people? What if we hire 200 people? All these kind of give them these dreams, and every CFO will say, wow, I want that, right? So, and this are the stories. If you are in finance and you would like to embark on finance, for example, be the expert, be the ML and AI expert in finance, for instance, and also tell these kind of stories for retail people or for the marketing people. Tell them about Instagram, about the AI mechanism behind TikTok. Let them know that this is the new marketing, the digital marketing, and they should know that you are not a techie, you are an advisor, and you will make their life easier and will help them to be more successful. And this is the purpose behind this question, to really convince people who are a little bit far away from IT and all these kind of new technologies?
I'm just not sure if the people are really far from IT. We are not in 1990s, and now every financial department use computers, use software. Government tax organization even not accept document in written form, only accept in digital. So I think you are too pessimistic about this.
Yeah, Alexandra, fair point. And I don't want to assume anything. I just give you an example. 2 years back, I implement a finance analytics solution for a multinational company with 200,000 employees, and we replaced Excel. 4 years back, I implemented another management reporting, and you won't believe it's PDF, because the board members saying, hey, I'm always on the flight. I have no internet in the planes, or I mean, I don't trust it, free Wi-Fi. I would like to have my reports in a printed format in A4. Unfortunately, this is also reality, and you're totally right. We have a lot of innovative companies, innovative CFOs and finance departments, but still the majority of the finance people are still using manual tasks, Excel mainly, and email communication, and not BI analytics tools or big data tools. So, but you're right. Maybe I should be not too pessimistic. On the other hand, I recommend you not to be too excited. So I think the truth is somewhere in between.
Excel usage have different routes, because in Excel every person could just change whatever he wants, not wait before developers develop new version of software, etc. Because of the same reasons, we are in Immersion, and Immersion is very IT company and very advanced IT company. We are still use Excel from project reporting, because the form is changed, could be changed every week. We just have no resources to develop application in this speed.
Exactly.
I think, Alexander, our case is more like Ekrem describes it, that even in IT company, finance guys happen to be far from IT knowledge.
It's not finance companies, it's delivery directors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we have another question from Martins. Will you share this presentation afterwards? I need to show my son what to focus on.
No, we won't share this. Only if you go to Instagram, like our page, go to LinkedIn and follow us. Under these conditions, we can share this slide. No, I mean, joke aside, of course, we can share this, yeah. Happy to.
Yeah, and question from my side, Ekrem. I receive this question actually very often, especially in business audience, from business audience, and they are asking, when you're showing this to them all the low-code stuff like Power Apps and Power Automate and stuff like that, and they can see that it's quite easy to actually build probably working application and so on, and they are asking, what is easier for technical people learn business, or for business people learn this technology part necessary to build these applications?
Mm-hmm. It's a great question, but I think it's really varies from individual to individual, right? So how mature you are. I think it's easier to learn tech than business because business requires a lot of empathy, right? And also non-cognitive skills in terms of I mean, communication, in terms of empathy, in terms of really understanding the pain point and the politics, because sometimes the Excel sheet is there for certain reasons because one guy is fighting back all the time, right? So, which means for this, even technical knowledge is not bringing you far. So I think the business side is rather challenging, right? Because this is something which is not binary, right? There's no wrong or right, like 0 and 1. There's always a gray zone. There's always yes or no. There's always some kind of politics in there, and personalities and characters and culture and so on, and also daily mood. It's unpredictable, I would say. Technology, it's easy to learn. It's even works or not. It's right or wrong. It's a function A, B, C, D. It's always like this, right? Business is rather more difficult, I would say, from my point of view. But this may vary from person to person.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting viewpoint. I already imagine that if business person is reading like technical manual and thinking, why it's so written, and when the technical person reading about business, it just should work like this.
Yeah, and I would say, I mean, I put it in this way, Aldis. Business is getting more and more complex, and technology is getting more and more simple, right? So that's why I would say rather learning tech is easier, or going to be easy, because as you mentioned already, Power Platform or Google's chatbots and so on, it gets really easy, and simplicity is king there. So every company would like to make the technology very easy to understand for children, like the Apple Steve Jobs style, from 7 to 77. Everyone should know without a menu, immediately use the software or hardware. So, and on the other hand, business gets complex. I mean, look at COVID, right? Look at the globalization, the global economy, the cross-border economies, and so on. So multicultural, multi-diverse, now multi-locations. So, and this is make it more challenging, right? So you think once, oh yeah, I'm now the retail expert, but retail in China works different than retail in Europe. Okay, then you need to also look into the Chinese market, for instance, right? So that's why I would say business, it's getting more complex going forward. But the good thing is there that you can learn it also quite fast if you're just into it, and if you, I mean, are bold enough to embark on that journey. I think you will be quite fast in there.
We have comments in chat. Adrian, could I ask you to?
Yes. So we have a real life story. So all this said that we develop advanced BI application for companies, and from time to time we receive questions from customers. Will it be possible to export this report into Excel?
I'm telling you. So I was with SAP for at SAP for business analytics and CFO solution. Then I was with Rplan for CFO solution. Then with Longview for corporate management and tax solution. So as mentioned, the 15 years in software was, I mean, 13 years finance solution. So I really know, I mean, the most used functionality in every software, enterprise software, is the Excel export. So this is the truth, because everyone loves Excel. It's flexible, it's easy. Everyone has it on their computer. You can manipulate quite easy. You can comment, you can change, you can make it you want, right? So that's why it's our biggest competitor for all enterprise software developers. That is good areas as well. So in the meanwhile, you can use Excel Web with single point of truth. You can make, I mean, advanced security and so on. But yeah, it's going to be still valid, right? But I think it can't be a big bang change. So we need to really take this CFOs and finance people to that journey, because imagine accounting is a very traditional job, right? It's a science itself, right? And the bookkeeping is a very repetitive job, right? Everyone wants to be a bookkeeper in the past. You own the money, you manage the money. So to change the mindset and the culture and the processes will take time, but we are in a good way. So the digital CFOs, the young generation of CFOs, they see themselves in the meanwhile not as number crunchers, rather as the internal advisors, right? So because the CFO by nature and by default, they can go to the board member and say, hey, you know what, CEO? We are doing great in Asia. We are suffering in Europe. Product A is selling like hell, but product B is completely scrap. We need to increase our production in Thailand more because the labor costs are down over there. So this kind of conversation a CFO by nature, by profession could do. But the reality is every month, give me the numbers, verify the numbers, do this, do that. And we stress a little bit the finance departments here a bit in the last 10 minutes, but this is true also for marketing and sales, right? Sales is also not capturing their CRMs, for example. This is the same for supply chain, for instance. We have still kind of construction workers who have a paper documentation, for instance, or getting a kind of an onboarding which is completely manual. So this is really true for every industry. We have a lot of innovations and disruptions in every industry, but still a really valid and high number of processes and companies who are on the very, very beginning of the digital journey. Hence, coming back to this topic, we need digitally skilled workforce.
It looks like Ekrem broke the ice. People are now in the chat very active.
Yeah.
We have a comment from IB who's saying data storytelling is most important. Industry and business insight are less important because industries are changing a lot. So I think this is completely true.
Absolutely. So, and since industries are changing a lot, the story is going to be changed also a lot, right? So I think because this is very correlated to each other, because you are telling the stories from industries, from the businesses, from success stories, basically. And both are highly dynamic, right? So totally right, totally agree with that. I think, yeah, absolutely. We need to be prepared that our stories are sometimes outdated, right? I mean, I guess my Excel story, I keep telling this story since 15 years. And last time I did an internal presentation at Microsoft and I checked out the IDC and Gartner statistics, the top 5 CIO priorities from 2009 to 2020. And believe me or not, I have the presentation here. On the top 3, always business intelligence analytics. It's called data warehouse, then business intelligence, then business analytics, big data. And now it's AI ML. So it changed the terminology, but still, since 15 years, it's a huge challenge to bring all the data into one single point of truth, make data quality, data governance. So this story is valid since 15 years, and it's kind of still remaining. There are few of those, but in general, yeah, it's highly dynamically changing.
Yeah, so I think this data story topic is a big issue because the question from Kaspars is how to tell a good data story.
Oh, I mean, the how-to is, I mean, I think it's always.
And maybe, Ekrem, sorry, and maybe we could link it with the next question, Adrian.
Yes, true. So Martins is asking any good starting point where we can start to develop our data storing skills.
Absolutely, and I think my recommendation is really if you have not your own story to tell, tell the stories of others, right? First, but start creating your own story, because this is the most authentic, most convincing, and I mean, the most interesting one, where you can tell, you know what, I was at a meeting with the emerging finance director and saw an Excel file where he manually put, I mean, numbers in there. I asked him to automate this one. Then I created an easy SQL database where I created data flow where from 5 different Excel sheets, the data automatically flows into an SQL database. Then I put a semantic layer on top of that to normalize the definition of the columns. And then with Power BI or Click or Tableau, I put a dashboard where every second the dashboard automatically refreshes, and I help the finance director 2 hours per day in automating this data flow. This is a story I think almost everyone can tell and even can do by themselves, right? So, and I think those kind of stories you should create and develop by yourself. If you don't have those stories and experience, look into stories where you think, wow, this is a great story. I'm going to tell this to my friends. So the Tesla story, for instance, everyone, I mean, for the time being, I was telling my friends the Facebook story, right? Maybe you guys have Facebook on your app. I deleted it, I think 5 years ago. Once I heard from a Facebook executive the story of they're capturing the voice of the people, which is not allowed, right? Maybe you experience that you are talking about, let's say, BMW, opening your Facebook app and suddenly BMW app pops up, right? So, and this was kind of scary information. I was asking the Facebook and said, yeah, we are capturing the voice because the microphone is still active. Even though we are not allowed to, we are sending a very slow signal, which a human ear can't hear. And this is, we are simulating that the app is still in use. And if the app is still in use, the user said, if the app is in use, I can connect to location services, photos, and microphone. Hence, we use the microphone for this. And this was a scary thing. And I was telling this story to everyone because this is my data story, because Facebook is collecting not only data, personal data, it's collecting also my voice data, right? This could be a data story for it. So you can tell everybody and tell the power of data and also the dangerous side of data, right? So, and you need to start somewhere, but my recommendation is create your own experience and put this into a success story and tell this.
Yeah, I think here Aldous has a book recommendation in terms of data story. So everybody who's interested should check the book from Nancy Durate. The book is called Data Story. So thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah, question from my side. So I'm very interested in it. So can you suggest some sources or books or the way how to learn industry? What is the best way how to learn industry? Take a textbook for university or look at...
Honestly speaking, of course, everyone has his own style, right? So, for example, I'm not a book person. So because I need something immediate, right? So the way I get industry and business knowledge was reading finance magazines, Financial Times, for example. And we had in Germany, we have Handelsblatt and Manager magazine, for example. There are stories about companies, and these are very, for example, Daimler, right? So you will see a story about Daimler's annual report, about their growth rates, about their new product introductions, and so on. And these are very snackable, short overviews, consolidated pictures of a company, and of course, ultimately also for the industry. So I created my knowledge with those things, with kind of stories for corporates in my I mean local area where I feel appealed with. Second thing, I mean, this would be my recommendation: magazines, Financial Times, Business Insider. And there's plenty of LinkedIn pages where you can follow those kind of things, which gives always business insights and industry insights. And the second thing is, which I learned during my MBA studies, is read business cases. So, and Harvard Business School has, of course, some open free content, but also payable ones, but I recommend you go for the paid ones as well. So there are stories, it's about 10, 15, sometimes 20 pages, A4. So it's a chapter of a book, I would say. But there they describe, for example, how iPhone becomes successful. And I mean, spoil it, right? You should read this. But it was a very, I mean, small, easy moment, right, at Apple and the evolvement of iPhone. Maybe some of you know the story. Go and read this. There's also another case study which been used for MBA studies, but which can also normal people can access to, how, I mean, BlackBerry and Kodak soar and why they got bankrupt, for example, right? So, and read these stories, and this will give you great insights into this particular industry, like telecommunication, hardware, IT, or whatever. But also you will understand what are the business dynamics behind, what were the business moves the leadership did, how Walmart is still fighting against Amazon, for instance, right? how Microsoft, I mean, completely transformed themselves from a Windows and Office company to a cloud company. I think these kind of stories, which you also feel appealed with, you should maybe read those success stories of companies. And then ultimately you will understand and see, oh, wow, this appeals and this interests me more. And then you will, I mean, dive bigger into the particular topic. And then, of course, ultimately, you can read a lot of other books. I don't have a, I mean, straight away recommendation for you. But I think once you have the basic and the fundamentals, I think then you can go with any author who have books like the industry one, the Toyota one, for example, the Toyota success story. It's a great one. I would recommend. And maybe I will look up into my my library to see what kind of books I read in the past. There are a few of them, yeah.
Any further questions?
Yeah, Martins, I see you switched on camera. Maybe you could ask something.
I had some thoughts.
I didn't. You know, another Martins.
Yeah.
And you, yeah, both of you. So Martin,
hi, Asler Martin. I had some thoughts around data ops and ML. Like the discussion previously was around how to convince someone who is not even technical into going AI. I think quite often you would start with just trying non-AI solutions first for and try some simple models and then go into ML later. But yeah, how do you see it? Like this transition, like it's a long road from the industry that is not exactly in technology to applying AI or ML, in my opinion. As you like data ops mentioned before is a big part of having high quality data. That's a road to go for any company that is not yet invested into it.
Yeah, and I think a great point, Martins. And I think sometimes the trick I'm using is for those people, you already using AI, right? But you are not aware of this, right? So everyone who's using an iPhone is consuming AI capabilities. They are, of course, hidden and embedded in WhatsApp, in iMessages, in Siri, and you name it. Even in LinkedIn, you have the predefined text blocks, for instance. This is
or in camera.
Yeah, right. So and here you can maybe get them and say, hey, you are saying you are not willing to go with AI, but you're already a consumer and user of this, right?
Sure.
Just to mention, Martins is working for Spotify, so maybe you could share that for the skill set you see here. Do you see that it's relevant?
It's as like, yeah, it depends on the role definition, but yeah, the skill set is very like knowing the industry, knowing the data, knowing how to present it. It's all part of data science. I'm not a data scientist myself. I'm more infrastructure guy. But yeah, and as I mentioned, understanding when to invest into AI, it's mostly for us, like quite often for us, it's like you have a problem and then you look how to augment it, how to augment a feature, how to take it to the next level by augmenting it with AI, having good metrics to compare to, having a good understanding how this will help to solve, get a better results out of your investment. And not always it happens.
True.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe it is great discussion. I don't know. I think we had only 1 hour, right, Aldis?
We are not limited in time.
Okay. No, I mean, because maybe just another food for thoughts, right? So if maybe a few of you agree, wow, yeah, there is some truth in there, the Akram and team, that we need these top 3 skills. Okay, I mean, of course, you can go and read a book, but you can also come to us and participate in one of our digital hackathons, or even we are now partnering with Emergent, and in order to give you all these skills, right? Because as mentioned earlier, what we at GDEXA developed and designed is a kind of a learning concept, as mentioned, with global mentorship and digital labs. And this digital labs basically is focusing on the soft skills. So it's not a coding challenge. So we are giving you an ideation. For example, we are telling you the Spotify story, or the Apple story, or the TikTok story, as a food for thought, and then let you think about, okay, what we can learn from these success stories and how we can create a similar project or similar application for a certain industry. This is the hackathon challenge in our digital labs, for instance. And then, I mean, the main part of this is that we are experimenting with these real case scenarios, not in theory, but in practical use cases and in practical, I mean, solutions we are ideating during this hackathon. And also our mentors, who are coming from diverse, I mean, industries and have a lot of experience, they are our advisors, they are our coaches for that, and they are kind of the quality gate for those projects we are running in digital labs. So I'm really encouraging you to be part of this, and you can test it out and can get your soft skills easily. So and here are the kind of, I mean, sort of topics we are tackling. So of course we have always the digital topic as a fundamental, but on top of that we are building this real world scenarios. It's a great digital upskilling experience you will have. It will give you a practical experience, but again, the majority and the focus here is on the soft skill part, is on the business understanding, is on the storytelling, because after this digital labs project, you will have at least one story to tell. And it's really on the teamwork we are encouraging you to do it remotely and with a diverse team. And the typical project flow, as mentioned briefly, is really like that. It's a 5 to 6 weeks of exercise. We start always with the use case ideation, identifying a use case which has a huge impact to human societies, associations, or corporates, and then working on a high level architecture, right? So, and we are using design thinking methods and ideation and the digital whiteboarding and these kind of stuff. Afterwards, we are making a project plan out of this, so how we can put this into reality. So let's talk about which functions this solution needs to have, sorry, which resources we might need for this, and so on and so forth. So it really gets concrete. And afterwards, execution and delivery. And the delivery part, again, is the part where we are saying more or less, hey, you have the chance to pitch in front of Elon Musk for $1 million. So make it brief. You have only 10 minutes. So make your pitch, make your case, right? So, and this will also give a lot of presentation techniques, rhetorical techniques, and so on, where we also put in some kind of startup exercise in there, saying, hey, how to get a funding for those, right? So these are the methods we are using and applying, and I think it's also a good way of getting these skills. We already have great feedback from a lot of our talents who participated, so I also encourage you to follow our LinkedIn page for that. So I think it's well received by the young professionals, and also we have great testimonies from Microsoft, SAP, and so on. So I think I can just invite you to be part of this journey. And with this, I'm really done with my part. So maybe another round of question probably, but if not, I think we have.
Yeah, in usual on-premise on-site meetup, we now have a party after party, beer and discussions. But in this case,
only discussions. In this case, only discussions left out of everything.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ekrem, Adrian, for coming, and it was really most active meetup ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Great.
so much questions and discussions and engagement. So yeah, thank you very much.
I'm always jealous of the LinkedIn posts where they are posting this big screen with hundreds of windows, people waving with their arms, and they make a screenshot. I would love to have this one, but I feel not everyone has a camera on, so. But yeah, anyway, I mean, I think it was a great, yeah, Martin, here you go. It was really fun. It was really also for us great and interactive. Thank you for having us, Aldis and team. I think I mean, at least I really enjoyed. Great questions, great feedback, and glad you all like it.
Yeah, hope you have hope to have you again in some next meetup, and let's see, probably or most probably we will see you on RigaCom 15th of October virtually, most probably, but
Okay.
still, yep.
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, yeah, hope to see you either in person or virtually. I mean, looking forward for that next big event in Riga. And really, I mean, excited to be more in your region and get in touch with you guys because you are known for very innovative, very technical, very forward driven. And I think we can feel the spirit here with the collaboration with you guys, and really, really glad to be in this community.
Good. Thank you. So we receiving thank you, very inspiring messages, and thank you in the chat.